Hello everybody and welcome to our 6th YouTube broadcast. So I would like to start today's broadcast with a letter that I have received from the L'Arche Federation of International Leaders. I'll read parts of it to you. As of today, the history of the pandemic that we are living through is still an unfinished business. It has progressed to different stages in different countries. Some have now passed the peak and are trying to avoid a second wave, while others are waiting for it to arrive, and still others are right in the midst of fighting it. We would like to acknowledge the hard work you have all been doing during these extraordinary times. So far, most of our communities have been spared by the virus, and in communities where there have been cases, these have generally not been serious. On the other hand, in France, the communities in Pierrefonds, Cuise and Compiègne have each lost members. Some of them are in nursing homes. We want to remember Michel, Chantal, Alfreda, Frank, Catherine, Pierre and Patrick, who all died from the virus. We would also like to express our deep gratitude towards every member of these communities, particularly the assistance and leadership teams, who are responding to these heavy blows with remarkable courage. The situation now seems to have stabilised. Whatever the risk of infection might be where you are in the Federation, we ask that you continue to adhere rigorously to the guidelines that are in place to protect you and the most vulnerable. There is universal agreement that this public health crisis and its global consequences are absolutely unprecedented. If fear is natural and even a necessary reaction, there appear also to have been spontaneous outbreaks of creativity and solidarity. We have seen a host of successful initiatives, both in the world and in our communities, which serve as a reminder that, although our societies are vulnerable, human beings are remarkably resilient. Visit the Facebook group L'Arche Members. When the time comes to look back on this unforgettable chapter of our history, we may, like many others, hope it will have something inspiring to teach us about the changes we need to be made if we are to protect our planet and future generations. Stefan Posner and Stacey Cates Carney, International Leaders. Let us hold those communities in France who have lost members in our thoughts and prayers at this difficult time. We remain very fortunate in this community. Our COVID-19 statistics as of today are 7 staff in isolation, no confirmed quarantined, 10 staff off sick with unrelated sickness, and 15 core members in isolation. No core members are quarantined. Stefan and Stacey mentioned the creativity in our communities during this time. I have to say again how proud I am of our Liverpool community and the ideas and initiatives that we are coming up with to keep people connected and engaged. Since last week's broadcast we've had another virtual Glee Club. It was absolutely fabulous, even better than the first one. I have a few shout outs from that session to Stacey, Steph and Lizzie, our very own 3 Degrees, who sang and danced throughout. They've probably lost half a stone each. Well done, ladies. And to Deborah, Brian and Anya in Green Lane, who also danced right the way through till the end. Great dancing. You'll be on Britain's Got Talent next year if you keep this up. It was great to see Corinne joining in from home with her mum and sister, so a big shout out to Corinne, Shona and Liz. A big shout out also to Jackie and Pat, who joined last week from home. We know how much Jackie loves singing. And to Ben, who's at home with his family. We're missing you, Ben. Our Glee Club this week will be tomorrow, which is Thursday the 7th of May, as Friday's a bank holiday and we're off. We had our first virtual soup and prayer this Monday. It went down well and everyone was very relaxed. It was an opportunity for people to connect, to pray for loved ones and to say how they were feeling. Hopefully more people will join in next Monday. This will now be a regular slot at 12 noon every Monday. Thank you so much, Paul Cowan, for hosting this, And it was great to see you, Joyce. Our other initiatives coming soon are Thursday the 14th of May, we'll be holding a community quiz. On Thursday the 19th, we will start our bingo sessions, which will please Anne and Les from St Sebastian's, as they've been asking when are we starting the bingo. Other ideas including virtual yoga classes and a Liverpool Large community bake-off. Our plan is to have something going on virtually across the community every day to keep us all connected, so please look out for the emails. Our relationship feature this week is Colin, Julia and baby Michael. Julia has sent me her story, which I will read out. I first met Colin nearly 20 years ago. I had just finished university and was looking for a gap year. Liverpool was where my grandfather lived, and so I applied to L'Arche Liverpool. In those days, most assistants lived in the houses. So when I first arrived, I stayed in the Well, the house where Colin lived. However, I then moved to be an assistant in the Coracle with Brian, Dave and Ian. Obviously I saw Colin at parties and community gatherings and so on, but I wouldn't say we were great friends. Fast forward a number of years and I was living in the Spring next door to Colin. Those were the days that we had team meetings each week. So the Well started covering for the Spring and the Spring for the Well. We had a minibus and a car and we started spending time together when the team meeting was on. After Barbara died, the Well became quiet and Colin, Mark and Tina started spending more time in the Spring. And when the Well were short of assistants, I started spending more time there and myself and Colin became good friends. I realised how much more fun it is to do things together, so doing the dishing with Colin drying up might leave less time to watch TV, but it was so much more fun with soap and suds everywhere and much more merriment. I was surprised to find it was easier to go out with Colin and Tina together than either of them on their own, as Colin helps Tina, and in helping he forgets his own fears. Normally Colin finds it hard to walk down the street, as each time there is a curb to cross he can't tell how big the step is. But when he holds Tina's hand and helps her, he concentrates so much on Tina that he doesn't notice the curbs. Times changed and we opened the harbour. Colin moved there and I missed him. I didn't get much time to visit him, so I saw him only occasionally at Agape or the odd party. Then along came Sister Eleanor and Faith and Light. She nagged me into coming with Colin, and so we had something to enjoy together. We had monthly meetings, day trips together and a holiday in Durham. I wasn't really sure at first how much Colin really enjoyed Faith and Light. I thought he just enjoyed going out. But one month it was cancelled and we didn't get the message, so we found the church shut and went to the pub instead. And I could tell all evening how disappointed Colin was. We have a mutual friend in Kevin in Manchester, so we went there from time to time. Once we went in the minibus and I was amazed to realise how good Colin's sense of direction is, and he pointed the last few turnings correctly to get to Kevin's house. Another day he kidnapped me and took me all the way to Manu's house. It certainly wasn't me taking Colin on that day. We also started meeting up with Brian sometimes, with Gora and with other friends. When I had Michael, the relationship changed again. He has taken on the role of Uncle Colin and embraced it. He's so protective of Michael and doesn't like strangers to come near him. At the moment, Michael can't come to the harbour, so we're using Zoom to chat. Zoom is something that Colin has embraced since the lockdown. He had us all in fits of giggles when we rang Mike and Maria in New Zealand last week. This is something that I continue to learn from Colin. Just because he can't talk doesn't mean he can't learn. Our relationship changes and develops just as life changes. Colin has such an infectious laugh, I just love spending time with him. It doesn't really matter what it is we do. Even catching 8 buses in order to have dinner in the Ark with Brian is fun. Colin is a really special friend. A genuine friendship that has lasted many years. How lovely. Julia's relationships in L'Arche have spanned 20 years, and it is fantastic to see how she's maintained and nurtured the real friendship she has with core members. Next week our relationship feature will be about Hilary and Ian. An additional feature that I want to add to our broadcast, and it will start next week, is my L'Arche journey, similar to what I did last week with my story. So I will begin with Anya and I will continue with the management team. But if there is anybody out there who would like me to tell their story, please let me know. So now I'm going to take a 10-minute break where you can think of any questions you want to ask me, or if there's anything you want to say, please just get through to us. Hello again. So I've got a message from Stacey. She wants to remind everybody that if you've got a song request for the Glee Club for tomorrow, then you just need to email Stacey and she'll get that one sorted. So please go ahead with that one. It's great fun. Andrew in the harbour, he wants us to know, he certainly wants me to know, that he can DJ and he's been practicing on the stereo. So Andrew, I bet you are great. It'll be good to see that in the future. And you also said in the harbour that you've enjoyed all the pictures and memories, so that was really nice. From Green Lane, a message to say that David will be celebrating his 60th birthday next week, so they will be in touch about how they're going to try and celebrate it in the community, obviously virtually. And then finally, from Fountain Court, especially to Max, shout out to Max because I know she loves this. Max is getting a new tablet. They've got some new activities coming up, which is a tie-dye day, so that should be good fun. New tennis, like to see that one, and football. So hello there everybody in Fountain Court. So that is all for this week. Thank you Orsi for signing, and thank you everybody for your continued hard work and effort. This week I will leave you with a quote from Teddy Roosevelt. Far and away, the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. Stay well. Till next week. Bye.